The completion of life, the dissolving of karma, and the path to a higher death. Chapter 1. A quiet diagnosis in winter. Michael was 56. His name was English, but he was born and raised in Korea, and for most of his adult life, people had called him Manager Kim. Even now, co-workers still said manager out of habit, and he would nod and smile. The smile was familiar. His heart was not. That day, he had just come out of the hospital. The doctor flipped through the chart and spoke as gently as possible. The results aren't very good. It's not an emergency surgery right this minute, but we shouldn't delay. Michael answered with a short, empty sound. The words entered his ears, but they didn't fully land in his mind. When he stepped through the sliding doors, cold wind hit his face. Only then did the situation begin to feel real. So I'm at that age now. The age where the end starts to show. He sat in the driver's seat and tried to start the car, but his hand shook and the key didn't turn smoothly. He let out a long breath and rested both hands on the steering wheel. Whenever his thoughts became messy, Michael had a habit of organizing them. Family, money, the apartment, the mortgage, funeral costs, burial, insurance, what his wife would do, what his daughter would do. Death had always been around him, but it had always belonged to someone else. This time, it had his name on it. When he got home, his wife was setting the table. "How was the hospital?" Michael hesitated for a moment, then said, "It wasn't great." His wife's hands stopped. Michael could read the weight behind the word, "not great." That night, she asked again and again if he was okay. He kept saying, "I'm fine." But he wasn't. At 2 a.m, he went out to the living room. He didn't turn on the lights. He didn't turn on the TV. He simply sat in the darkness and breathed. Then a phone notification appeared. A recommended video. The completion of life, the dissolving of karma, and the path to a higher death. Michael stared at the title for a long time before tapping it. He didn't know what to expect. Talk about death, souls, reincarnation. Those topics had always felt like something that might be true, or might not. He had never built his life on them. But the voice in the video was strangely practical. It didn't sound like someone selling miracles or fear. It sounded like someone asking, "How should we live today?" A human being is not only a body. Even after the body ends, we remain as an energy element. The state of your mind at the final moment becomes your next condition. You must let go of attachment. Michael paused at that sentence. The final moment. That was exactly what he had been thinking about lately. What will I be thinking at the end? What will I be holding on to when I die? Michael swallowed. Don't worry about the afterlife. Your life right now is your mass. If you live with virtue and expand a public mind, your soul becomes lighter and rises to a higher place. Part of him wanted to argue. If it were that easy, why would the world be like this? And yet the message didn't feel frightening. It felt like this: there is still something you can do. Even when the video ended, Michael couldn't put the phone down. Outside the window, the sky was beginning to lighten. He whispered to himself, "What do I need to let go of?" Chapter 2. What a grave's grass can tell you. On the weekend, his wife said, "We should go to your father's grave. Your brother said the grass died again." Normally, Michael would have answered, "I'm busy." This time, he simply nodded. The grave was halfway up a hillside. As he climbed, his breath came faster than it used to. That fact made him quieter. When they reached it, the grass was indeed yellow and patchy. His brother complained. "Why does this keep happening? We replanted last year." Michael knelt and touched the soil. It was hard and dry, packed down. The grave sat in a place where sunlight didn't reach well. A long shadow from nearby trees covered it most of the day. In his mind, he listed the reasons. Not enough sunlight, poor drainage, compacted soil. In the past, he might have shrugged and said something vague like, "Maybe the ancestors' energy is weak." But lately, he found himself looking at reality more directly. That evening, Michael remembered something the lecture had said. Sincerity is not a form, it's the direction of the heart. If you cling, the soul grows heavy and cannot leave. He thought about how he often calculated during memorial rites. How much did we spend? Who prepared more? Am I losing out compared to my siblings? If that was the mind he carried while bowing and pouring drinks, what kind of sincerity was that? For the first time, standing before his father's grave, Michael thought about something other than money or appearances. Father, please go in peace. We will live our own lives well. We won't hold you here. He didn't speak the words aloud. He only said them in his heart. And still, something inside him loosened. Chapter 3. The weight called attachment. As hospital visits continued, Michael's days began to revolve around the idea of time left. When people get sick, they either return to their true selves or they become more twisted. Michael moved back and forth between the two. Some days he felt bitter. I lived responsibly. Why me? Other days he felt calm. If this is real, then at least I can organize my heart. In that process, the biggest issue was one thing: attachment. Michael knew exactly what he was attached to. First, money. Second, his daughter's life. Third, dignity. What people thought of him. Money always approached him wearing the mask of security. His daughter came wearing the mask of love. Dignity came wearing the mask of respectability. But those three together were suffocating him, especially his daughter. She was preparing for marriage, and there was tension with the in-laws about housing. Dad, we can start small. Don't burden yourself. Every time she said that, Michael grew more anxious. No, we need to do what everyone does. It sounded like he was protecting his daughter, but it was mostly about protecting himself. I can't be remembered as that kind of father. What will people say? One day his daughter cried and said, "Dad, you don't love me. You love your pride." The words pierced him. He tried to get angry, but nothing came out. The sound of her bedroom door closing echoed louder than it should have. That night, Michael played the lecture again. If you live only for your family, your attachment makes your soul heavy. You cannot leave the ground, and you keep circling your descendants. Michael closed his eyes. If I die and still circle around her, interfering, is that love? Only then did he understand. Attachment often looks like love, but it isn't. Love sets a person free. Attachment ties them down. The next day, Michael said to his daughter, "I'm sorry about yesterday. I'll trust you. You choose." His daughter looked startled. Then she said quietly, "Dad, I've been waiting to hear that." His chest grew hot. He felt it for the first time. Letting go doesn't always destroy a relationship. Sometimes it saves it. Chapter 4. The width called public mind. Michael had worked as a civil servant for decades. For years, he had grown tired of complaints. He used regulations as a shield. He treated work as endurance. But illness changed his mind. Before I go, what can I leave behind? He began focusing on one repeating problem: a welfare support program that older people often gave up on because the paperwork was too confusing. That's just how it is. The rules are the rules. Everyone said it and moved on. Michael thought, if the rules can't save people, then isn't it our job to make the rules understandable? He gathered data. He organized real cases. He rewrote the language in plain terms. He created a one-page guide with large letters and a checklist. At first, coworkers were unimpressed. "Why are you working so hard these days?" Michael smiled. "I have some homework left in my life." The guide worked better than he expected. Fewer people walked away in confusion. One elderly woman said, "Oh my, if you write it like this, it's so much easier for us. Thank you." Michael stopped moving for a second. Thank you. He hadn't heard that word from a real person in a long time. Not the satisfaction of salary or title, but the quiet sense that he had made someone's day less difficult. That night, Michael began to understand what the lecture meant by mass. What kind of weight am I creating with my life? He had made someone else's burden lighter, and in doing so, his own heart felt lighter too. Chapter 5. Practicing the final moment. A surgery date was scheduled. Michael was afraid. Even if you pretend to be brave, the edge of death is always cold. The night before admission, he walked slowly through the house. He stopped in front of the family photo on the wall. Before, he used to look at it and feel, I did my job. Now he felt something else. Did I do well? As a person, I have so many regrets. He called his wife. Listen, if something happens during surgery, his wife frowned. Don't say that. Michael shook his head. No. Please hear me. I don't want to leave while clinging to things. His wife's eyes trembled. Michael spoke slowly. I want to tell you and our daughter, thank you, and I'm sorry, and I want to tell you not to be bound by me. His wife finally cried. Michael held her hand. It was warm. He thought, if my final moment is fear and resentment, will I freeze into that state? Will I wander instead of leaving? So he decided to practice, not dying, but letting go. Not controlling his daughter. Not clinging to money as mine. Saying sorry while he still could. Saying thank you while he still could. Not making his heart heavy with blame. This wasn't a grand spiritual discipline. It was simply choosing, day by day, to live a little more correctly. Chapter 6. A changed funeral, a changed life. The surgery ended well. Recovery was slow, but Michael was alive. In his hospital bed, he thought often, I truly could have died. That experience changed how he understood dying well. Dying well wasn't about looking graceful at the end. It was about dissolving karma while still alive. After discharge, he attended a funeral for a senior colleague who had passed suddenly. There were tears, alcohol, and also appearances. Some people asked, how did he die? Before they asked anything else. Some asked, what does his son do? As if it mattered most. Michael stood quietly before the portrait. What did he leave behind? What kind of mind did he carry at the end? Then the lecture's idea returned. If you cling only to family, you remain low. If you live for neighbors, you become a presence that helps neighbors. If you live for your country, you help your country. If you live for humanity, you move into a wider place. Whether or not he believed it literally, Michael felt the structure was pointing to the right direction for living. I don't want to become a burden after I'm gone. I want to be someone who helps. That thought pushed him into action. He began volunteering at a local welfare center, helping older residents with administrative paperwork. Many were afraid of forms. Michael understood that fear. Don't worry, it looks complicated, but we'll do it together. When he said that, faces softened. He started to feel what dissolving karma could mean. Not as a mystical sentence, but as something simple. The discomfort I caused. The wounds I gave. The debts I left in the world. Paying back even a small part of it. Chapter 7. The meaning of a final lifetime. One spring day, Michael ate lunch with his daughter. She was preparing for marriage calmly. Their home would be small, but she looked peaceful. Dad, you've changed. Michael smiled. Changed for better or worse? For better. You used to feel anxious all the time. But now, you feel steady, like you trust life. Michael couldn't speak for a moment. He had wanted to hear that more than anything. His daughter added, you don't try to hold me anymore. That's why I trust you more. Michael nodded slowly. Only then did he fully understand. Letting go isn't losing love. It is often how love becomes cleaner. That night, Michael sat alone in the living room. I'm not special, but if I use what I have for others, even a little, that might be enough. He didn't pretend death no longer frightened him. Death was still frightening, but he was learning not to be dragged by fear. He told himself, when the time comes, Don't go with resentment. Go with gratitude. Don't cling. Bless and release. Live not only for my family, but with a wider heart. That was his understanding of the completion of life. Chapter 8. A higher death begins today. A few months later, Michael visited his father's grave again. The grass still wasn't perfect, but strangely, it no longer felt like the most important thing. He loosened the soil. He adjusted a small drainage path, and he sat down quietly. "Father, don't worry, we're living well." The words were for his father, but also for himself. I'm living well. I'm practicing letting go. On the way down the mountain, he saw children laughing and running. Life continued. Someone left. Someone was born. Someone endured. Inside that flow, Michael felt his task becoming clearer. Not living in fear of the afterlife, but filling today with virtue. If that was the path to dissolving karma, lightening the soul, and meeting death at a higher level, Michael wanted to walk that path. He might never prove what heaven looks like. He might never know exactly how reincarnation works. But one thing felt certain: when you widen your heart toward the public good, others live, and you live too. When you release attachment, love becomes cleaner. The final moment doesn't arrive suddenly. It comes from what you practice today. Michael got into his car and started the engine. This time, his hands shook less. He looked out the window and smiled softly. All right, today again, a little lighter. And he drove home. Whether his remaining time was long or short, he was now walking toward completion.